Welcome back to the Dry Fire Journal. This is day 16. I'm showing you that there's nothing in this barrel that I am putting into this empty slide. Lots of instructors that I trust, including Neil Widener from Active Self-Protection, really will tell you that a barrel block is the best way to go because it's visible, and I don't disagree. I think that is a great way to go. I think another layer of safety is taking my gun apart, putting it back together again. As Chris Sutton pointed out in comments in a different video, it also breeds familiarity with my firearm, lets me inspect other parts, and so that's why I verify that way before I do anything. So, totally clear firearm. Want to explain the why behind the what of this drill. In a publication called Neuropsychologia, and I don't even know if I'm saying the word right. It's way out of my pay grade. Two dudes named Benjamin Phillip and Scott Frey, I think I'm reading that right, published a article of research that they had done on increasing the functional connectivity between our hands and how our brain relays that information. And if you want to geek out on it, I will post a link. But what they did is they took folks and they had them draw with their dominant hand and then draw with their non-dominant hand a picture, and they had them do it multiple times. And over the course of time, they found that the fastest way to get better with their dominant hand was to have people do it with their non-dominant hand, and that has to do with the way the brain is wired. Just 10 days of doing something with their non-dominant hand gave them better skill and smoother drawing in their dominant hand. The skills were retained for longer, like 6 months worth, at the end of this training, which only lasted about 200 minutes total. The retention was fantastic, and even just 200 minutes of doing this, I don't even know how many hours that is off the top of my head because I can't math, but I think that's less than 3 hours, is right around there, maybe 3.5. But anyway, their point is that anything we're trying to do with our dominant hand, we actually get better at it faster by doing it with our non-dominant hand because it increases the way our brain processes things. And this is something I learned a long time ago in the music world, and something that I've applied to my firearm training. And this is why on day one of handgun experience, used to be called handgun fundamentals, before that was called level 1 if you've been around that long. This is why on day one, at the very end of the class, we will switch and put your firearm in your left hand. And most of the time you are taking that shot at 30, 35, or 40 yards. I would say Justin and Darren, I'm thinking that in the high 90% of people hit a steel target. That's the hog target, which actually surface area is the size of a C-zone steel plate, a silhouette steel plate. But they're doing that high 90% of the time. We see people drill that thing, and I would say at least 50 to 60% of the time, they are hitting a 4-inch swinger plate in the center of that target. And those of you that have been on that range with us at H Street in Linden, you know exactly what we're talking about. But this is why we do stuff with our left hand in training. Not so much because I believe that tactically the best plan is to switch to your left hand for cover. There's a whole lot of it depends there. But for the sake of dry fire, we want to do things opposite side because it helps our brain go faster. So, enough background. Let's get to the drill. You've seen this before, but now I'm going to be doing it support side, and I'm thinking 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pound, 4 pound, 5 pound. And that's the thinking behind the numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm going to put my two-hand grip together and try to keep my front sight from moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Saw a little bit of wobble at the end. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm just going to switch to 5. 5. Woo! 5. Whole lot of pressure there. 5. Now, what is the point? The point is not just doing this with my left hand. The point is, as I manipulate my trigger with my support hand, can I keep myself from firing my trigger with all 4 fingers? Can I keep a dexterous, limber grip and let my trigger finger be isolated enough to be able to do this cleanly, whether I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or just 5. Put all that together, and what you're actually doing is training your brain to do this much better with your dominant hand. So, gun joke incoming. Give it a shot.